Hello all, I hope you're doing well. Today I would like to offer you information about toning cranial nerve 8, also known as vestibulocochlear. This nerve is a sensory nerve only, and it originates in the brain stem. Actually, it has two nerves as part of one nerve, one called vestibular and the other cochlear, and I will talk about that a little bit later in the video. The nerve transmits information from the inner ear to the auditory areas of the brain for processing, and is responsible for our sense of hearing and balance. It also plays a crucial role in our orientations to cues of safety and or danger in our environment. And in this way, it also indirectly triggers or affects autonomic nervous system. So one of the things that I want to bring up in here is nonverbal communication that we engage in on a daily basis, and we use such things as like our tone of voice and our frequency, tone of voice and or how fast or how slow we talk, the rhythm, and that creates different sound waves that when entering our ear and then are processed will tell our inner brain structures in mammalian brain whether we are safe, our bodies are safe or not. So low frequency sounds versus high frequency sounds are interpreted, and then ANS gets activated and or is evaluating environment as peaceful and safe, so we are in the rest and digest mode. So the nerve is also involved in the spatial awareness, and the vestibular part of it is primarily what is responsible for that, and knowing our location in space is also going to affect ANS or autonomic nervous system indirectly. So here I would like to say that I find this nerve to be fascinating, and the organs it innervates are also structured in a very, very unique way for us to have a sense of hearing and perceive different sounds. To me, it's a truly remarkable creation, if I may call it. And I believe all the nerves, all of us, everything are remarkable creations. However, since we are talking about vestibulocochlear nerve here, I'm referring to that entity, to that structure. So, as I was saying, the nerve consists of two nerves, and I will start with the cochlear. This one transmits sounds, and the sensory receptors for the cochlear nerve are hair cells within the organ of Corti in the cochlea, and they pick up on the fluid movements that the fluid is inside the organ, and the fluid movements occur when the sound waves enter the organ of hearing and then are transmitted through the eardrum, and the mallets propagate sound waves to make the fluid move. And these particular bones, the organs that are collectively known as ossicles, and separately malleus, incus, and stapes, actually malleus, I'm sorry to mispronounce it. They're in the middle ear, and they amplify sound vibrations by acting as a lever system, allowing transmission of sound waves from eardrum to fluid-filled inner ear, which is necessary for proper hearing. Without this amplification, the delicate structures in the inner ear would not receive enough force to generate a neural signal for sound perception. An interesting fact that I want to bring up about ossicles is that in mammals, they are separate from the jaw bone. And this is actually a key evolutionary adaptation that allows for efficient hearing by detaching bones, for the sound transmission from the function of chewing, unlike in their non-mammalian ancestors, where the ossicles are part of the jaw joint, makes our having ability to distinguish different sound frequencies and pick up on them in a different kinds of way and perceive qualities of sound that other creatures are not equipped to perceive. So now I'd like to talk about vestibular nerve, and this one controls balance and is part of vestibular system. It also affects eye movements. So the nerve actually sends information from inner ear's vestibular system to the brain stem. And the vestibular nerve receives the input from hair cells also, but in the semicircular canals, utricle and saccule, which are different parts of the organ of hearing. And then the signal activates the muscles that control the eye movements to maintain visual stability during head movements. And this is a process called vestibular-ocular reflex that allows the eyes to stay focused on the target even when the head is moving. So we're now can move on, and actually I will present information on the toning exercises, or the exercises that stimulate the vestibular and cochlear nerves, And the first one is the one about balance. And activities like standing on one leg, walking on uneven surfaces, or performing head movements can stimulate vestibular system. For those who have to sit for long hours, you can try devoting a bit of your rest time from computer work and do some gentle rocking of your head side to side or back and forth, and notice what happens in your body, what muscle groups get activated, what sensations, feelings, emotions come up. And you can even journal about it, but only do this if it's safe for you, if it's advisable for you. Playing with your balance is really good for muscles around your torso, I find, and it activates the body where you kind of feel like you're here, you're present, and it gives you information where you are in space. The head is actually part of our body that we tend to guard a lot for survival purposes, and we need to be able to be aware where it's in space. So balance can be fun to play with, and it doesn't have to require you to engage in very strenuous exercises. So just like sitting and doing head tilts is enough to activate the balance system. Auditory exercises is something I'm going to address now. Listening to different pitches and volumes of sounds, localization exercises, and repeating spoken words will stimulate cochlear nerve. So, like with localization exercises, what one can do is get in touch with the body first when you find yourself taking a break in a safe space where you won't be disturbed. After you do some grounding, you could start to pay attention to what you're hearing. And then you could perhaps start hearing your own body. I always recommend people start with what they can hear inside their own body first. And you could start to, for example, pay attention to your heart sounds and or your bowel sounds, and then kind of move outward and start to pay attention to what you're hearing in your immediate environment, like clock ticking or a pet chewing or licking, or other sounds like a washing machine or something cooking, like boiling water. Try to see if you can pick up sounds that are not easily detectable. That will greatly stimulate the cochlear nerve. then you could try listening for what might be happening outside. If your windows are closed, then the sound, of course, is not as easily detectable, but you could open the window and hear maybe cars passing by or somebody doing gardening outside, or someone's cutting something in their yard. So these are types of this is the type of practice that definitely stimulates cochlear nerve. So in here, I'd like to say that I find it very powerful way, actually, to get in touch with your body, one's body, and see what it is actually capable of. In particular, you could start noticing what sensations, emotions, thoughts, feelings come up for you as you're listening and picking up some sounds. This is especially important, I believe, for those who have a history of trauma, because different sounds can elicit different memories and emotions and sensations associated with them that are going or are affecting autonomic nervous system responses. You can journal them if you like to keep a record and then review your patterns, but only do it if you feel safe, and if for any reason you feel like you have reached your tolerance level while doing these, use your best judgment as to whether it's time to stop the activity. So if you'd like to take it up a notch, try learning to distinguish different qualities of sound. And I already kind of mentioned that, but in here I would recommend checking out Gretchen Rubin's book titled Life Through Five Senses. I believe I've mentioned that in my other videos that I made some time ago. I find that she offers information that is quite unique in some ways for some people, on what can be due to truly enjoy this sense of hearing that we have. And I highly recommend also, just if you have any issues with your emotional regulation, when certain sounds are detected by your nervous system, to seek help if it affects you the way that is undesirable. I will make videos where I would talk about issues with different cranial nerves. Originally, I wanted to talk a bit about hearing loss as being a serious disability and or balance issues, but I want to make a separate video where I address what happens with different nerve damage and things that we can do to help ourselves have a quality of life. There are many videos online that could be helpful as well. If you have any questions or concerns about any particular nerve, fortunately, there is a lot of good information out there. If you need specific information, I would be happy to address it with you. Please don't hesitate to contact me. And so I'm going to end the video with this, and I hope that you found the information that I've presented helpful. Again, like if you have any questions or concerns or comments, please don't hesitate to reach out. Hope to see you in my next video. Thank you.